Well, it's a pleasure to have Senator Katie Britt of the great state of Alabama. Senator, how are you?
I'm doing wonderfully. Thank you so much for having me on, Mark, to be with you and be in front of your listeners.
It's our pleasure. All right, so you saw the debacle last night. The people of Alabama are very patriotic. They're very smart. They were never going to vote for Biden. But even those who might have, what do you think they think?
There is no way anyone in good conscience could vote for Joe Biden at this point. I mean, look, first, President Trump did a tremendous job on Thursday night. I mean, he was strong. He was sharp. He looked and sounded like a commander-in-chief. I think he did a great job making it clear that he is going to secure our borders. He's going to restore stable prices, safe streets, strong national defense, restore America's respect in the world. And I think there could not have been a greater contrast between his performance and between what we saw from Joe Biden. Look, I said it in my State of the Union response. Joe Biden is a dithering and diminished leader. And obviously, that is unfortunate for the United States of America, because as he stood up there last night, I could not help but think to myself, this is not just the Democrats, soon-to-be nominee for 4 more years, as they would like to see. This guy is the commander-in-chief of the greatest nation on the globe right now. And there is no way in the world he could sit across from Xi Jinping and actually defend America's interest against China. There is no way in the world he could sit down with Vladimir Putin and command the respect to get Vladimir Putin to stop his aggression. There is no way in the world that Iran is going to take him serious. And I think it was a real moment for the American people to get a window into Joe Biden's weakness. And when we look at just the mass influx of migrants at our border, when we look at the chaos in the Middle East, when everyday families are going to the grocery store and know their dollar doesn't go as far as it should, that the man in charge just has no idea, has no plan, and has no ability to put this nation back on the right track.
And yet his surrogates are doing everything humanly possible to destroy Donald Trump through lawfare and other means, and they seem split on whether they want to keep Biden or jettison Biden. But in any event, I've been telling my listeners, these people are in so many ways diabolical. They've tried to cover up for Biden all these years. They've attacked people who actually have talked to him and said there's a problem. They've attacked the video and the audio that demonstrates there's a problem. The Attorney General of the United States, asserts some bogus privilege in order to keep the audio from the American people in Congress. So you have this massive cover-up going on, and then all of a sudden the people see who Joe Biden is. We knew, but now everybody knows. And so you have the New York Times saying he needs to be jettisoned. By the way, why should we listen to anything the New York Times says, given that they're the leaders of the cover-up operation?
Absolutely, Mark. I mean, you've just nailed it. First off, the media is completely and totally dishonest in a number of ways, particularly what we're seeing right here. Here they are beginning immediately. You've seen a number of them start to try to cover up for Joe Biden. They are unable to just call balls and strikes, and the American people can see straight through it. I mean, think about this. Out of the first couple of minutes of Joe Biden's mouth, he began to say that no service member has lost their life under his watch. It was a complete and total disgrace, Mark, to the 13 brave servicemen and women who died in that disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan under his leadership. Then you think about the 3 soldiers from Georgia that died. Then you think about the 2 Navy SEALs that died. And the fact that this man would not honor their legacy and then the media would not immediately call him out is absolutely beyond comprehension. Then you think about what he said about late-term abortion. You could ask any Democrat out there, what week is too many weeks for you to take the life of your child out of the womb, and they would literally not answer you. And even the week before we came home for this state work period, we have a live UC of the Born Alive bill, and the Democrats actually blocked it. So they're not interested in telling the truth. They're interested in covering up. And I think what we saw, we got a window into how power hungry the Biden family is, how power hungry his consultants are, and how power hungry his top staffers are, that they would actually put him out there in this state in an attempt to get 4 more years. We know that they are calling the shots. They love the power, and they don't want to give it up. And they'll do anything to keep it. And look, when you think about what Special Counsel Robert Hur wrote about, he wasn't fit to stand trial in a courtroom. It is clear that that was accurate. We saw that last night, and I would like to say he is not fit to stand in the Situation Room.
Mm-hmm. Katie Britt, Senator from Alabama, let me ask you this. He's holed up at Camp David with 18 top advisors. Obviously, they saw what was going on. His wife knows what's going on. His closest aides in the White House know. The media know. Schumer knows, and Sanders knows, and all these members of Congress, they know exactly the condition of Joe Biden, yet they lie. And they lie to the American people, and they lie over and over and over again. It's all about power, isn't it?
It is absolutely about power for every single one of them. And you can see, even in that New York Times editorial, it is about, they want him to step aside, not because he's unfit. They want him to step aside because they don't believe he can beat Donald Trump. And it is that is all that you need to know. They have been holed up with him for, over a week. This was supposed to be Joe Biden at his best. He was not doing other engagements. He was not traveling. He was there in preparation for this moment. And when you see right afterwards his wife, try to tell him, oh, it was great, and you answered every question.
It looked like 5th grade, did it not?
It did. I mean, Mark, were you not? I mean, I just thought.
I was shocked.
I was too. I thought our adversaries across the globe are watching this right now. And they know that if there is a moment to strike, which we've seen over and over again during his 3.5-year tenure, because they knew of his weakness. But you know that they are thinking this is supposed to be the commander-in-chief of the greatest nation on the globe? No way. No way. And so I think others can see through it. The American people can see through it. And the media has done America an incredible disservice, because I think Donald Trump broke the media. They are a shell of themselves, and they cannot, and just for whatever reason, refuse to just call balls and strikes. And we're paying the price, and we saw it last night. Because you know what? Think about this, Mark. We heard just the White House try to spin all of this, just over a week ago, saying that these were, what did they call them? Cheap,
I don't
fake?
Remember, some phony
trying
line. Yeah.
to confuse the American people, trying to pretend like these were AI-generated. These were not AI-generated moments. They were real moments of Joe Biden being unable and truly showing that he's unfit to be the president of the United States.
We're here with Senator Katie Britt at the great state of Alabama. I've been to Alabama. It really is a great state. And it's a pleasure to have her with us. So, Senator, you're the enemy. You're watching this. You're Hamas. You're Iran. Apart from laughing, could this not be provocative when they see a president of the United States this way?
Mark, unfortunately, you are 100% correct. I mean, Biden's disastrous debate performance, it emboldened our adversaries from Iran to Russia to China to North Korea. They know that these next 4 months until the election are their best opportunity to just walk all over us, because it is clear that Biden is both weak and lost. I mean, this is going to be an especially dangerous time for our country. Look, we'll restore peace through strength when President Trump gets back in office. But sincerely, let's talk about where we are right now. If you just look at our homeland, there is immense financial pressure, with people knowing that the dollar in their pocket does not go as far, people not being able to achieve the American dream under this Biden administration and his policies and regulations and et cetera. But you also look at what he's done with anti-Semitism, and he refuses to stand up against it in this nation. I mean, never again is being tested before right here on our homeland, and he is consistently failing that test. And they're seeing that. They're seeing that this administration refuses to just call good good and evil evil. And so they're preying on that. Look at what's happening at our border, Mark. I mean, just take a look. You've had over, 10 million people come here illegally since President Biden took office. That includes approximately 1.9 million gotaways, which means we have no idea who those people are, where they're going, or what their intentions are, because we never touch gloves with them. And you think about this. This administration knows how to stop this. They know how to secure the border. They just told us a few weeks ago that, okay, we're going to finally do some executive orders. Now, their executive orders are not near enough and don't actually solve the problem, but they know that they are capable of doing it, and it showed that. And you think about this, just a few weeks ago, 8 members of ISIS-K caught on our homeland. We know that there have been hundreds of known terrorists come across our border. The FBI director said just a few months ago, there are blinking lights everywhere. I don't know what it's going to take for this administration to wake up, to start actually using the tools in their toolbox against Iran, start waking up to what is happening across the globe, what is happening here at home, and actually put Americans and our safety and put out and peace first. They sincerely do not know how, Mark. Do you not agree?
100%. I can't believe they do what they do. It's absolutely irrational unless they want to do some dastardly things like get these people into the country, get them on government benefits. They have children in this country, get them registered as Democrats, have the impact on the congressional redistricting. Because the Democrat Party is all about, as I say, power. It's power is first, second, and third with these people. You see it in the Senate. You see Schumer. You see Bernie Sanders. It's government, more government, centralized government. They don't talk about individual liberty. They don't talk about private property rights. They spit on the founders and the framers. They wave around the Constitution in order to destroy the Constitution. That's what I see in the United States Senate. Let me ask you something. You were talking about the Born Alive Act. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And the Democrats wouldn't allow a vote on it?
Yes, that's exactly right. So last night, what you saw was Joe Biden completely and totally being dishonest about where he stands when it comes to taking the life of a child the moment before a child is born, and what we have seen on the Senate floor just in the last few weeks. And what is so frustrating is, as we just mentioned earlier, yet again, the media will not call him out on this. So if you look at the Born Alive Act, Senator Thune actually said, he came to the floor and wanted to do a live UC, because this is something that we should all be able to agree on, right? I mean, first off, I would hope that we could all agree that you shouldn't be able to take the life of a child the moment before a child is born, but Democrats refuse to actually say that, and refuse to, this year alone, Mark, this administration did not include the Hyde Amendment when it actually asked for its budgeting. Mm-hmm. I called them out on that, and I said, you want us to be able to fund these abortions up to the moment of birth, and it's absolutely disgusting and despicable. But the Born Alive Act would ensure that babies born alive during an abortion attempt get the medical care that they need, just like normal newborns. And the Democrats came to the floor and they objected. I have retweeted that. We have got to get that out, because the media is not calling Joe Biden. And look, it's disgusting. Can you imagine a baby, it is absolutely disgusting and despicable. And listen, we are one of 7 nations that allow you to take the life of a child the moment before a child is born. In 7 states in the District of Columbia, you can do that. Putting in these things should be universal. We should all be able to say, if a child is born alive, we need to save that child. And yet the Democrats objected. So they're not only okay with late-term abortions, they want to use your money to do that. And like President Trump said, they are radicals. I think they are out of step with the American people. And as we are starting to tell this story, I mean, I went through at a hearing, Mark, and told what happens to a child at 38, 39 weeks when the mother chooses to take the life of that child, and what that means for that child and how they kill that child. And it is horrendous. And so now that we are exposing how radical they are on this issue, you can see them backpedaling. And I think we keep the pressure on. We show that they are the radicals on this issue. to your point about government, I mean, let's look at what they're doing there. I mean, they use the administrative state in every way possible. Mark, I mean, the administrative state, the quote, what I call the fourth branch of government, has got to be reined in. And this administration has been using it wildly and appropriately. That's why Chevron today, obviously Chevron deference, I think that is a huge win for conservatives as we look to put the power back where the people wanted it. You know, Article 1 is Congress for a reason. Article 2, executive branch. Article 3, judicial branch. You know, we need to do our job and stop allowing the administrative state to promulgate rules and regulations that hurt everyday people. They have a wild left-wing agenda, Mark, and I have been disgusted in my first 18 months in the U.S. Senate to watch them infiltrate that agenda into every single facet of government, pinning down Americans and not allowing them to achieve, not allowing them to have their personal liberties, and ultimately trying to expand government, which I believe hurts the American people.
So if the nation wants to learn more about you, what is your official website?
Yes, well, I would absolutely love it. KatieBritt.com, and then obviously KatieBritt4Senate.com, but KatieBritt.com. So just go to that, and they can. Thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate it, and I just appreciate what you continue to do, because there's no doubt after last night that our enemies are more emboldened, and we've already seen a disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, the largest war in Europe since World War II. We look at what's happening in the Middle East. It's on fire. You've got Russia and North Korea entering into a defense pact. You've got China building up their military in order to take Taiwan.
Stunning.
I mean, we're at a crisis point right now, and it showed last night that man is in no way, shape, or form capable of being the commander-in-chief at any point, but certainly not at this critical juncture in our nation's history.
And thank God for the Redstone Arsenal, by the way. I just wanted to say that as well.
You. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for your kind words about Alabama. Alabama loves you, that's for sure.
Well, you're terrific, Senator. It's a pleasure to have you as a friend of the program. You take care of yourself.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. God bless. That's Senator Katie Britt of Alabama. She really is fantastic.